$500, baby, and you can pick my teammate.
Give him the chump.
You mean play basketball?
Yo, what up, Elo? What's up, baby? Just kicking this in 92 for the basketball. Check it out. Swing.
How's everyone doing tonight? This is the Cream Team Podcast. I'm your host, Griffin Markwith. With me, as always, is my good friend and LeBron apologist, Hunter Gonzales. Hunter, how are you feeling after King James finally brought one home for the land?
Man, if everybody in my house was not asleep right now, I would scream. I know all of y'all listeners, however many it may be.
Are you afraid? Did someone break into your house or something? Why would you scream? Are you in pain?
I am beyond. It's still to this day, 2 days later. Well, no, it's 3 days later now. So pumped about the fact that we are now going to spend 15, 20, 25 minutes talking about the greatest of all time and what he did.
Let's keep. It might only be 5 minutes if you keep this up.
So, guys, talking about that, I'll just kind of be serious for just a second. So, I know we mentioned in the past that we always have a game plan, for lack of a better term, coming into these things, and tonight we do, but that game plan consists of one thing, and that is just the finals. I know that's what y'all want to hear about. That's what we feel like talking about. That's all we've been.
Hold on, be honest. For you, it's just one thing, and that's LeBron.
Well, I can't come out and just brazenly state that.
Sorry for blowing your spot. My bad.
But guys, we just know that we don't have a set time frame on this. We're just going to talk about the finals for as long as it needs to be. I just wanted to give you all that disclaimer. Right. It could be 15.
I try to keep it brief, but yeah.
Exactly. But with that being said, Griffin, what do you make of the fact that, like it or not, LeBron willed his team down from a 3-1 deficit to beating arguably the best team ever and doing it so I don't want to say dominantly because they didn't dominate Game 7, but just so emphatically. What do you make of it?
Well, believe it or not, I do. I feel bad for this, mostly the city of Cleveland, but also that organization as a whole. Because, actually, no, I take that back. Just the city of Cleveland, because that organization has been misrun. It's kind of their own doing. And I'm also glad that LeBron and the Cavs won, because despite the fact that I am by no means a LeBron fan, if you listened to the show before, you know that. But despite not being a LeBron fan, I respect the hell out of him, and I understand that he's one of the greatest players of all time, and I really dislike it when morons try to discredit him and say, he couldn't do it by himself, he had to be in Miami, blah, blah, blah. People do... I don't know what it is about this day and age, but people seem to enjoy discrediting greatness, and you're going to see it in the coming days. You already have actually seen it in these past few days, them trying to discredit the Warriors and everything they did this year. But I'm just glad that they kind of really can't say much to LeBron right now. Even the people that are going to be like, oh, he's still 3-4 in the finals, oh, Jordan was 6-0. The guy really put the team on his back, and he carried a franchise and a city. As much as I dislike the guy, as a person, I don't necessarily think he's a nice guy at all, but the man is an unbelievable basketball player. I think he's the greatest individual talent we've ever seen, and I'm glad that he got that done so people can stop trying to devalue his greatness.
Exactly, and I'm going to try to speak on this from as non-homering, non-fan as I can.
Impossible.
Impossible for you. I'm going to try, but what we witnessed from Game 4 to Game 7, I can't think of a greater 4-game stretch in basketball history. That was just something that
it was unbelievable.
He had help. Don't get me wrong. I say what you want about Kyrie, but the guy shot 48%, averaged 27.4 points a game in the finals. Say what you want about him. Could he have gone about it a bit better? Probably. But he was a huge reason that they were also winning. But LeBron, I think he silenced all critics. He won 3. He now has been the MVP in every finals he's won, and I firmly believe even had they not won it, he should have been the MVP. I don't think he would
I
have
think
been.
so too.
But I think he should have been. It was something like nothing that's ever been seen before, and I really don't know if it's ever going to be seen again because when LeBron, I'm gonna kind of try to maybe pinpoint why he was so good. When LeBron has his jumper on,
Yeah, that's
he's
exactly it.
unstoppable. That's just what it is because you know
They have to respect him.
exactly, and they started to have to respect him. And
Absolutely.
that let's talk from an X's and O's perspective. They were getting Iguodala off of him, which was huge because Iggy was shutting him down. And as soon as they pick and roll and they'd switch, boom, that gets LeBron on. They were switching Curry a lot onto him, and that's just unfair. And it's just something that it, there are no words to describe that greatness. And I'm not saying that from a fan perspective. I'm just saying that from a basketball fan perspective. Of that was something that I don't know that we're ever going to see again. I really don't.
Gordon Hayward and the Jazz will probably do it next year. I figure.
But
I figure they probably will.
but so tell me, what do you think? Something that the media is going to talk about. You know it's going to happen. What needs to be done with Kevin Love? Do they hope that his Game 7 was more like the Kevin Love that they are going to get next year and beyond, or do they think Games 1 through 6, specifically Game 6, I think it was when he had 2 points, is that the Kevin Love they're going to have? Are they going to have Game 6 Kevin Love or Game 7 Kevin Love? And if it's Game 6, what are they going to do with him?
Wasn't that Game 5?
Was it Game 5?
Yeah, because I mean, first of all, can we just say that if LeBron and Kyrie in Game 5 both have 41 points, how many points is Kevin Love expected to score?
Yeah.
They had 82 points combined. Out of what? How many points did they have in total? Like,
I think it was 108, I think.
108. Okay, so there was only 26 points to go around. They never passed him the ball. All the other points were off of Tristan Thompson offensive rebounds and J.R. Smith threes. So, like, why do people... I just don't understand how they're, they want to burn Kevin Love at the stake because Kyrie and LeBron had incredible games and he didn't. They won the game. So, stop giving the guy shit. Also, I just want to point out, because I don't think a lot of people in the media have. I know some have. I think, Zach Lowe, those very smart basketball guys have pointed it out. Love essentially saved the game for them in Game 7 when he got switched on to Curry twice in those last few minutes and played really unbelievable defense that you would not expect that guy to play against Curry, who's obviously, one of the best players in the game. That being said, to answer your question, Cleveland's got a tough decision to make. I don't know if they get rid of him or not, because of the fact that they won. I think if they lost, even if they lost in close, devastating fashion in Game 7, I think they would still have to get rid of him. But now that they won, despite the fact that they probably still should get rid of him for their sake and for his sake, because he could be much better. That guy's not suited to be a third option at all. He's much more talented than that. So I think they should get rid of him for both parties' sakes. But I'm not sure if they will, because they did win a championship with that team. So I genuinely don't know, and I know that makes for a boring podcast, and it makes me sound like a dum-dum, but I'm not sure what those guys will do.
That brings up a good point, because what we're going to do, guys, is we're recording this, and then a little bit later we're going to record another podcast, and that's going to kind of put us in the shoes of GMs, put us in the shoes of Danny Ainge and the Jazz GM for Griffin and
Dennis Lindsey.
Dennis Lindsey. I couldn't think of his name. And we're just going to kind of play like a big old what-if game. Those are always fun, a hypothetical game. But right now, and Kevin Love's going to be brought into that. That's why I mentioned that. But honestly, I'm just going to say right now what I believe needs to happen with Kevin Love is, I'm going to key in on what you said, is he's not a third fiddle guy, and he's just not.
He's being minimized. His role is is he's not suited for that role that they're trying to stick him in.
Exactly. He is not an outside shooter first type player. He is an inside out.
He's a good shooter, but he's not exactly what you said. He's not an outside.
Exactly. He is an inside out type player, and the Cleveland Cavaliers do not play inside out basketball. You need to get him on a team that plays inside out type basketball. I'm not saying that this is where he's going to go, and because it's just not, especially with the D Rose trade. But get him on a team like the Knicks, where where big men are, that position is predicated upon, or that style of play is predicated upon offense, because Kevin Love is terrible on defense.
He would be great.
But yeah, you get him where he can pass the ball, and ball movement is the key, and that is not what it is in Cleveland. So get him on a team where his skill set is going to be used, and I think you see Kevin Love go back to somewhat closer to what he was in Minnesota. Do I believe that he would?
What if he went back to Minnesota?
And I don't see that happening. Tom Thibodeau.
I don't either.
That wouldn't.
But do you think it'd be a good fit?
That wouldn't work in Tibbs' system. But
yeah.
I mean,
I guess.
Could I? I have no idea how that worked. Could it possibly work salary cap wise? Yeah, maybe, because they have all those guys on rookie deals besides Rubio.
Right.
Right. But I mean, that's actually kind of an interesting point. I want to look that up. But the Cavs would want Wiggins back.
He probably wouldn't want to go back there because he felt disrespected since they made Rubio the franchise player and not him.
Exactly.
Which was honestly probably a smart move on their part, but just because of Rubio's age and the fact that I think it was a smart move at the time, considering that they thought Rubio could develop a shot, and Rubio's still really good. Don't get me wrong, I want him on the Jazz, but I think it was a smart move at the time, and I think a lot of people would say it was smart considering that Love, although I still think he's good, but he's been so minimized in Cleveland the past couple of years.
Exactly, and that's just it. Kind of, when all is said and done, people aren't going to talk about how Kevin Love had a terrible finals. They're going to talk about how Kevin Love's a champion, and that's really all that matters, to be honest with you. I think they need to get rid of him, and I mentioned this to you, and we talked about it a few days back. This Cleveland Cavaliers team is going to look a lot different next year. J.R. Smith's going to be gone, like it or not. He played himself out of Cleveland. Richard Jefferson's probably gone.
He played himself out of Cleveland in the sense that he earned a contract that they can't sustain.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
They can't pay him. And
No,
you can't blame JR. You got your ring. You played with the best.
Got his ring.
Yeah, you got your ring. You played with the best of this generation. Go make some money. You can't blame him for that. Then you have Mozgov, who I don't even know what his contract looks like, but he might not be there. Jefferson's
another guy that was minimized big time in Cleveland.
Exactly. Jefferson, he had an emotional decision of I'm retiring, and then he's kind of backtracked upon that. But even then, I saw that. He's not going to be Richard Jefferson that he was in the finals again. This team's just going to look a whole lot different, and there's no way, as this team is constructed now. I just don't believe that this team can contend again. Do they make the finals? Yes, but that's simply because the East isn't good. And
then they caught a break because the Golden State limped past the Thunder, and some people may disagree, but they were not 100% as a team.
Absolutely not. And when they lost Bogut, that was huge. And then
Bogut, and Iguodala got hurt.
Exactly.
Curry was not 100%. Obviously, they didn't have Draymond for a game. Even Clay got hurt the first game, didn't he, or was it the second game? When Mozgov set that screen.
Game 2.
Okay.
So I don't. I believe that that front office, aka LeBron, is smart enough to know that the way that team is constructed right now just isn't going to work. In terms of going out and creating some dynasty a la...
but he's going to stay.
Absolutely. He's going to stay. Absolutely he's going to stay. Because are they still a good team? Absolutely. They are. I think NBA championship winning team, probably not. Um, but all it takes is LeBron just getting hot, because I was reading some tweets today, and it's the absolute truth of people were talking mess all year about how LeBron was 10 steps slower than what he usually is. He's not good anymore. He's lost his athleticism. He's getting old. He's not the player he once was. And then he turns back the clock, and come playoff, when the games really matter, he becomes the LeBron that everybody knows and loves.
Right.
But my absolute kudos, my absolute props go to the Cavs and what they did, and um, and just the win.
Well, yeah, I agree. And listeners of the show know I'm not a Cleveland fan by any stretch, but I do feel good for that city, and I'm glad that LeBron kind of got that monkey off his back, despite the fact that I'm not a big LeBron fan. But let's flip it around and discuss the other side, the Golden State side of things. What are the implications of this? What do you think this team does going forward? Do they re-sign Barnes? Do they re-sign Bogut, Iguodala, Livingston, Ezeli? They got a lot of decisions that they need to make. Do they chase Durant? What do you think?
They chase Durant first and foremost.
Do they? Okay. Well, sorry, that was a bad question. They're definitely going to chase Durant. Do they get Durant?
They get Durant. They do.
They get Durant? You think?
I think they do. Because Durant has said, and I'm going to look at this from a I'm going to look at this from a basketball standpoint, and that's what Durant said. He said he's looking at this from a basketball standpoint. He's not looking at this from a financial standpoint. So, in terms of financials, will he have to maybe take, I don't know the exact salary cap numbers, but will he have to probably take a little bit less than max? Yes. But the dude just is 2 years removed from his huge $300 million Nike deal. He's already made a ton of money just in his contracts already. Money's not an issue to him, so he can afford to lose a few $1 million. From a purely basketball standpoint, is there a better team in the league for him to go to? Absolutely not.
No.
So with that, they let Barnes go, but are they really sad about letting Barnes go when you get Kevin Durant? No. And I think you can fiddle and tinker around with some things, and maybe make Most Spates, or maybe make Ezeli's a restricted free agent this year, if I'm not mistaken. He's not going to command a lot of money. So bring him.
He'll command something, but not a ton, I don't think.
Bring him back on a I don't want to say cheap deal, because there is no cheap deal with the salary cap spike, but bring him back on a good deal. And you're looking at a starting five. Just listen to this. You're looking at a starting five of Curry, Thompson, Durant, Green, let's just say Ezeli. That is a starting five that is dominant. I'm not saying that they're going to go out and win 82 games, because they're not. We all know, we've seen that it takes guys time to gel together and things like that. But
and they're not going to try, because I think that Kerr and that staff let them go for the record this year, and they got it, but they didn't win the championship. So what the hell does the record matter at the end of the day? So I don't think that coaching staff, or the players for that matter, are going to really try to pursue. I think they're going to do what LeBron does and take some games off and be smart and rest for the playoffs.
Exactly, and that's what you need to do. But I definitely see that happening with them. I've read a few things talking about how Curry, the Curry revolution is over with. I don't buy that stuff for a minute. I just think they started playing un-Warrior-like basketball and ran into a buzzsaw that was LeBron James at the wrong time. And they play any other team, and they're going to win.
And it was still almost enough. They still almost won.
Exactly. So I don't.
They should have won. They were up 3-1.
There's nothing to tinker with. There's nothing to really change besides go out and get Durant. And I think you'd be stupid to not do that. But go out and get Durant and come back next year and do it all over again. I mean, I don't. Excuse me, y'all. The thought of them not contending again is out of the question. They are a
Right.
I don't want to say a dynasty because they haven't won a bunch of championships, but they're a great team that will consistently.
They're a perennial contender.
Exactly. They will consistently contend, and I think if they were to get Durant, that just throws them even more over the top, if that makes sense. But what do you think about what do you make?
Well, can I ask you first? Well, go ahead.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
What was the? What would you say? And this is going to be tougher, or this is going to be easier said than done. But what would you say the number one reason was that the Warriors lost?
The number one reason?
Yep.
LeBron. It's a really dumb, uninteresting answer, but I think that's what it was. I mean, can we pull up the guy's stats really quickly? It was absolutely unreal what that guy was able to do.
I'm 99% sure. I was talking actually to Tatum about this, and he going into Game 7, the dude was averaging like 2 assists short of a triple double for the.
He led the series in like every statistical category,
everything.
Other than like 3. It was insane.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, that's the number one reason. I definitely don't think it was the only reason. I mean, believe it or not, despite the fact that we and other people have said that the Cavs didn't have the defensive personnel to contain the Warriors, that's exactly what they did those last couple games, especially in Game 7 down the stretch. The Cavs defense was stifling. The only thing that Golden State was getting were 3-pointers, and they weren't making them. And
that was
if they're not hitting their shots,
yeah, that was so odd to watch. Really, as a fan, that was a crazy scene to see of Harrison Barnes just being atrocious.
Harrison Barnes, oh my gosh, I'm about as useful as he was in that.
Man, he was ice
those last
cold.
couple games. He was awful.
Curry wasn't hitting anything. Thompson was okay. Iguodala.
But no, both of them were really bad in Game 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was probably the thing that I saw and was like, what? Like, how are these guys? This is a team that is known for their shooting. Hey, it goes back to the Charles Barkley thing that just came to me. Shooting teams don't win. But how is a team that is that good shooting the basketball that bad shooting the basketball? It baffled me.
I do think you have to give the Cavs credit and chalk it up to. It's obviously a combination of the two. You know, Cavs are playing good D, and Warriors were missing shots that they normally make. And also, let's not put any of the blame on Curry, because he deserves some of it. You can play bad, everyone does, but you can't play stupid. And that guy was not playing smart. He took a couple really bad shots. And we talked about this the other night off air. It seemed like he was trying to hit a home run and go for a knockout blow, hit a huge 3 that could get Oracle really fired up. And so he was playing outside of his game and taking some really unwise shots. And we all know that Steph Curry is an extremely intelligent basketball player, but he was not showing that in Game 7. And he also he made that terrible behind the back pass to Thompson. It was a lazy pass that went out of bounds. The guy gives up on a lot of plays defensively. The guy makes a lot of mental mistakes, and you cannot let that happen in Game 7. I think it was Zach Lowe who pointed out the fact that, I think it was in the first quarter. It was in the first quarter. I don't know if you saw this play, but Curry shot a 3 that he thought he got fouled on, and started bitching to the ref about it. And it was either Irving or Shumpert, whoever he was supposed to be guarding, leaked out and got a wide open layup. This game was a 1-possession game.
Yeah.
That cost them. You can't make those type of mistakes in a game of this magnitude, on that, of that scale. You can't make mistakes like that. So let's not exempt Curry of any of the blame here, despite, I know he's everyone's golden boy, and I like him too, to be fair. I'm not a huge Steph Curry fan, but I like him. But it has to be talked about. Like, the guy messed up. And I don't think, I'm not one of those guys that are saying, is the Steph Curry revolution over? Like, oh, does he suck now? No, of course not. The guy's still great. He's still the best shooter of all time. But he messed up. He messed up, and he has to be better as a superstar. As the MVP. 2-time MVP. You got to be better.
22 of 60 in games 5, 6, and 7 from the field. 22 of 60. You go look at his.
Inexcusable.
You look at his stats. I'm looking at his stats in the finals right now, and I'm not going to blame it also on Stephen Curry because it was a whole team effort, just as it was for the Cavs. But in the finals, he excuse me, y'all. He shoots 20. Not shoots. He scores 22.6 points. Turns the ball over 4 times. 4 fouls a game. Less than a steal. Less than a block. 3.7 assists. 4.9 rebounds. The guy was not good. Shot 40% from the field. He was not good. Not at all.
No. If you're the 2-time MVP and the only unanimous MVP in history, you have to be better. And I almost sound like, I don't want to sound like a sports radio guy and be like, oh, he choked, he's not clutch. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's objectively true that if you're a guy that is the best player on your team, and some people consider to be the best player in the league. I don't, and a lot of people don't. I still think LeBron's the best. But if you're that caliber of a player, you cannot not show up in the finals. He was averaging more. You just said it, more turnovers than assists. I mean, it's embarrassing. It has to be talked about. He messed up.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I actually did have a question for you. So. Back to the Durant thing. So you don't think that Durant is going to re-sign in OKC? And here's my question about him going to Golden State. That series that they just played was heated. I mean, those teams seem to have some real vitriol against each other. I'm not sure. I can see now that Golden State lost. Maybe I think if they won, there's no way he would go to Golden State if they had won the championship. But even now, even with the fact that they lost, I'm not sure I see Durant going there after such a hard-fought series, and the fact that they had the Warriors beat and they choked. What do you think?
Let bygones be bygones. I think when push comes to shove, I don't think that Durant hates Curry. I don't think Durant hates Thompson. I don't even think Durant hates Draymond. Do I think that he's not a huge fan of Draymond? Yeah. But no
one's a huge fan of Draymond.
Exactly. When push comes to shove, when they're winning those championships, that makes it a lot easier.
But it's easy for you to say that, but try to. It's tough. It's hard to put yourself in a elite professional athlete's shoes, especially one that's 7 feet tall. But try. Can you put yourself in this guy's shoes? They're ultra competitive.
He's okay. So to that point, he's got a guy who, let's just face it, him and Westbrook do not get along. They do not like each other. I don't care what they say.
That's not true. That's not true.
They do not like each other.
No. What are you basing that off of? I don't think that's true.
It's clearly evident.
How so?
I wouldn't say that it's not.
Give empirical evidence.
I wouldn't. Well, I don't really think there's any empirical evidence for anybody not liking somebody unless you were to.
That's not true at all.
To kill them. I mean, I think that's about it.
Okay, so for me to prove that I don't like someone, I have to kill them. I don't like LeBron. I'm saying it right now.
Or come out and openly state it. But also, Durant's not an idiot. He's not just going to come out and openly state, I don't like Russell Westbrook, but he's my teammate.
But they defended each other on multiple occasions, like with the whole Mark Cuban thing.
They have to. They can't just say, "Oh, sucks, man. You're my teammate. You're another one of the top 5 players in the league. I hate you." They can't do that.
No. They don't have to. Of course, they can't do that, and they have to at least remain neutral or slightly positive. But did you see the thing that happened with Durant? The guy was about to ask the question about Cuban to Westbrook, and Durant cuts him off and says, "Shut up. He's an idiot. We don't listen to him." Like he jumped out of his way to defend him. You don't do that to a guy that you don't like. You don't. You could be like, yeah, I don't think that's true. Russ is really good. Blah blah blah. You don't jump out of your way and get upset to defend a guy that you don't like.
What I will say is I'm not the only person. There are a ton of basketball people that will watch, and they can clearly tell.
Who? Who?
I'm not even going to give name. I mean, you could.
Because you're
No,
just
no, no,
saying stuff.
no. You could go. You could look at. I mean, you look at anything.
I don't think they're best friends. I don't.
Which is huge. That's
Is it huge? Do you think all those Cleveland guys were best friends?
absolutely,
No way.
absolutely.
Oh my!
Well,
oh my gosh!
why did they?
Yeah, I gotta stop. I gotta stop having a show with you.
Why did the?
You've gone completely off the rails.
Why did the Heat succeed so much? Why did the Miami Heat from 2000?
What are you talking? I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the Cleveland guys. They did not get along on the court. Constantly giving each other dirty looks. Tyronn Lue even said it. He said we have to stop blaming each other on the court and off the court.
Who did they blame? They blamed Kevin Love, and it was openly obvious that they did not like Kevin Love.
That proves my point exactly.
So
and LeBron and Kyrie were constantly giving each other dirty looks when one of them would bring the ball up when the other one wanted to. So what do you attribute to that?
Go look at Durant and Westbrook. It's the same thing.
But I'm saying that they don't have to be best friends to win a championship. Cleveland just won a championship with a team that, despite whatever you're saying, were not best friends. They all did not get along. So some of them may have, some of them did, but not all of them got along. So why do Durant and Westbrook have to be best friends? If they're defending each other and getting each other's backs, then why do they have to be best friends? For him to stay there.
They don't have to. Do you really think Westbrook's going to stay in OKC after next year? No.
No, I don't. I never said he was. I think that Durant signs a 1-year deal. I think he does what LeBron does.
Could I maybe see that happening? Maybe, but I think he would be foolish. I'm going to use that word. I think it would be foolish to take a 1-year deal in OKC to play with a team that he already knows what it is. That Thunder team is just not going to get past the Warriors. They're just not.
They almost did. They were up 3-1.
You are right. They almost did. But are we going to say give them 7 games and 99 out of 100? Well, I'm not even going to say that. 51 out of 100 times the Thunder are going to win. No, that's the Warriors. That's their series to lose from the get-go.
I agree. Look, I don't even think that that's the smartest thing for Durant to do. I agree with you. I think it would be wise for him to just go to Golden State. I really do. But we don't know how these guys think. And honestly, I think Durant is like way more of a competitor and a guy that holds grudges than people think. I think he's perceived as a choir boy.
Yeah, he's
but
the
I don't
farthest
think
thing
that's.
from.
I'm sorry?
He's the farthest thing from.
I agree. I don't think he is I don't think he's the furthest thing from. I still think he's probably a pretty good guy, but I think that I just don't know. I don't know that he'll be able to get over it. I think he should. I think it would be wise for him, but I'm not sure. Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss? We're already at like it looks like 33 minutes. But is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
There's nothing that I wanted to touch on because we're quickly getting into that free agency and we're about to start talking about the draft and stuff, and we can save that for the next one that we can do. But
let's do that.
y'all, I hope that y'all enjoyed this little 33 minutes of podcasting and about 30 minutes of just the normal nice talk and then the 3 minutes of arguing. I hope y'all love that.
Hunter, can I? Sorry, I'm always rude and cutting you off.
No, you're good.
But I don't want to put this because this is the LeBron stage. This is the final stage. So I want to talk about it now. I don't want to save it for the free agency and team intensive stuff. So I was asked by a different friend who's also a LeBron fan, like why I don't like him, and I had to watch Game 7 to really formulate this thought. I don't like him, and I'm bringing this up because I obviously want to get your thoughts on it. I don't like him because he's the best player on the court.
Yep.
He knows he's the best player on the court. Everyone that is an intelligent basketball fan knows he's the best player on the court. Yet he still has a bad attitude, and he's a bully. He acts like a jerk. You saw it in Game 7 when he gets a block, he unnecessarily walks up to people and stares them down, gets in their face, and starts talking garbage. Like, it's just... look, I'm no world beater, but I played high school basketball. I played basketball for a long time. So if I go to a rec center and play pickup, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be the best player on the court. When I block someone, when I get a dunk in transition, I'm not going up to someone and getting in their face. I just play the game. That's not what the... And it makes me sound like, one of those old white sports writers. But I guess that it's a personal opinion, but I just don't feel like you need to be not even just aggressive, just mean. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like Westbrook and I don't like Draymond. Like, what can't you just play? That's why I love Gordon Hayward. That's why I love Kawhi Leonard. That's why I love Derek Favors. Just play the game. Be good and know that you're good, but don't show it externally and don't be a dick.
Okay, so
that's why I don't like him. He just doesn't seem like a nice guy.
So you brought up 3 names, 2 of which I absolutely hate, 1 of which I absolutely love. But again, I'm gonna try not to let.
So see, you don't like them.
I'm gonna try not to let fandom get in the way. What I'm gonna say about that is, I'm going to defend LeBron, just like in that case I'm going to defend Draymond and I'm going to defend Russell Westbrook in this case. If let's just put you and I will be the media, I will be players, and you will be LeBron. So we're out on the floor and I'm saying, you suck, you are not good, you are old, you are washed up, there's players that are better than you, you are not what you say you are, this and this and that and that. I'm just talking a bunch of crap to you. Inside, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to just absolutely, whether we dunk on you, swat the crap out of you, do something to make you look stupid.
He's not playing against the media on the court. I'm talking about how he treats not only his opponents but his teammates. He hasn't been as bad now, but especially early in his career.
Well,
when he perceived that his teammates were not doing what he wanted, there were dirty looks,
I
there were glares.
I think that's any player who was told and who self-named themselves the king. When you're 18,
exactly, he self-named himself the king. That's what I'm talking about.
When you're 18, you're immature. So there's one. When you're 18 and you have been the king, you're probably going to get in your head a little bit. When you're 18 and you're told you can make a boatload of money off of you picking a name for yourself, I mean, I'm not going to knock him for that.
I know what you're saying. We're all a product of our upbringing, but I don't get why people love this guy so much, because you have to still be self-aware and have a good head on your shoulders.
Because off the court,
and he's a man now. He's not 18 anymore. He even said, "I'm a man. I have 3 kids. I have a wife. Whatever."
Because off the court, you will. Notice I said off the court. Look at him off the court. Look at what he does for City of Akron kids, for the City of Akron, for kids in general, for the NBA. Just look at what he does off the court. And
hold on? Can I break? Because you said off the court. I don't give credence to the guys that do off the court stuff that's constantly publicized. I don't.
Well,
I give credence to a guy like Alex Len, who I just read on Reddit, goes into a underprivileged neighborhood in Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, notice who you said to.
Takes 8 junior high kids from the local takes 8 honor kids from the local junior high, drives them to the mall and buys them new clothes, new shoes, and sets them up. And he does that without any publicity. The only way anyone found out about it is because the manager at a store happens to be a Redditor and posted about it. That's what I respect.
Well, that's Alex.
Once again,
Alex
it's the exact
Lynn.
same thing.
I mean,
who cares? Why does it matter? It shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a superstar or if you're a role player. It doesn't matter. It matters who you are as a person. Do good things because they're good to do. Don't do it because it's going to get you better PR. LeBron's a brand.
He is a brand, but that's the world. That is the world we.
Just because something is a certain way doesn't mean it's the right way.
Well, but you can't fault the guy. I mean,
sure I can. I'm doing it right now.
He doesn't tell people, follow me around, and I want you to follow me around every year.
Oh, of course he does. He does. At least his PR agent does, for sure. And LeBron agrees to that.
So
dude, he did that. He does those commercials all the time. Remember, he used to do the phone commercial where everyone was following around, and then he did I don't know if you saw the pizza thing where there were cameras and to see if people realized it was him working behind the pizza counter. That's all PR.
You can't. That is what comes with being a celebrity. It just is. That is.
I understand that.
So,
but
I mean, I'm not gonna fault anybody. It's the same thing with Russell Westbrook. His clothes. He is not wearing those clothes, not because he likes the clothes. I mean, do I believe sometimes he likes them? Yes. He does it because he's being watched. So I understand you're going to do some things because you're being watched. I understand that. But to spend $1 million plus every summer to take 45 plus kids from Akron and pay for their college, no, you can't say he's just doing that because there's people watching. No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
False.
I absolutely can because how much money is that guy making just from that rep, from his brand? So for him to donate $1 million, that's an investment on his part.
I'm not gonna.
It is.
I'm not gonna.
All right, let's wrap it up because we're just gonna go in circles. And it's already 40 minutes, so that's on me. Sorry for bringing up something that we both knew we would argue about.
Saying LeBron James.
Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm cutting him
Oh
off.
my God.
I'm cutting off the LeBron truther. We will see you guys very shortly. We're trying to up production and get more episodes out. Thank you guys so much again for your support. Have a wonderful night. Thanks. Goodbye.
Hey, y'all be good. Adios.
Shut up, Hunter. You suck.